system pushes Esau's agenda. A major weapon is heavy artillery, y'all. The school systems are set up not to tolerate our children, especially Black boys. They push them into special ed classes. They push them out of the schools. Well, school to prison pipeline is basically saying they set up our children to go from school straight into the prison system. You'll notice that is the pattern. A lot of our children, they don't want to stand out from everybody else. And we build them up as much as we can, right, to be that light before we send them off to school. It should tell them they're a peculiar people, a people above all people. We do the best that we can and we send them off to school. But do y'all see all these weapons that they're attacked with at the school?
Judith chapter 5, verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
So they're making sin easier and easier and easier to access. Mass communication. Whoever controls the media controls the mind, is the quote. We know who controls the media. Next one is government assistance. Removing the father from the home and creating single mothers.
Rock chapter 3, verse 6. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto the Lord shall be a comfort to his mother.
To honor is to respect. Teach your children to respect their father, to greet their father at the door. The child that's going to have a long life respects their father, goes to their father for guidance, okay? You have to instill these daily habits with your children of honoring their parents, of honoring their father. It's a daily thing. It's a discipline that you have to have yourself.
Sirach chapter 3, verse 1. Hear me, your father, O children, and do thereafter, that ye may be safe. For the Lord hath given the father honor over the children, and hath confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons.
The father is the first line of defense.
That's why it's important to have the men in the house, because they can guide the children exactly where to go. They keep them on that straight path. When your Lord is speaking and giving orders and things in the house, it needs to be trickling down. Everybody needs to be in line. These men not going to play with these children, and we cannot be interjecting when they're in the midst of them giving out the orders. You should be a mirror of your Lord. So if your Lord is doing A, B, C, and D, the household, the kids, you should be doing A, B, C, and D. For our single sisters, who do not have a Lord in the home right now, it's very important to keep our kids around the men that have been proven, leadership that have been proven as like mentor for these young boys. We need these men to put the fear of the Lord in these kids. They need it. The Most High chastised us. We still going through it. Look how long we've been getting a whooping. So that little 15-minute or 5 minutes that they in punishment or they getting discipline is not going to kill them.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monstrous children.
When we interject and not let these men take their rightful place in the household, y'all know it's monsters coming out from behind those. These kids gonna get out here in the world and they're gonna embarrass us. So that's why it's important to let these men in the house and do what the Lord is commanding them to do, which is guide their house, okay? It's not gonna hurt these kids. It's gonna put us in the nation in a better place.
If you're gonna create children, you really better be on your game.
Right.
Because like I said earlier, your child is your greatest resource. This child is going to represent me. Right. This child is going to represent everything that we are about. And we need this child to come up right.
We have to help our children to put on the whole armor of God, right? In Ephesians 6:11. You have to know your child's spirit, y'all. Every child's spirit is not the same. We have to always remember we have to build our children up for success in this walk. Teach them how following God's laws protects them. Teach them about Dinah when she ran off and was raped. And that's why, young daughters, you do not go out by yourself, okay? Teach them about Alicia and the 2 she-bears. That's why you have respect for your elders. You need to be teaching them these things. Another thing you need to be teaching your children It's about the traps out here. The next thing you need to do is to make sure you have a care for your children. And what does care mean? Care is the provision of what is necessary for the health, welfare, maintenance, and protection of someone or something. Serious attention or consideration applied to doing something correctly or to avoid damage or risk. This is the care we need to have for our children.
Titus chapter 2, verse 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
Yes, okay. To properly love our children, that is something that we have forgotten how to do and we must relearn. One thing I want to talk about is not keeping an oppressive house. I'm going to go to the definition of oppressive. It's weighing heavily on the mind or spirits, causing depression or discomfort, unbearable, burdensome. Ecclesiastes 3, right? There's a time for everything. Some of us are always like this on our children, always. You never let up, never let up, never let up, never let up at all. Be firm, but also have joy. It's a balance to it. Pay attention, have conversations, see where their mind is at. See, are they speaking? Are they doing Malachi 3:16? Do they keep to themselves or do they speak to others? Build their self-esteem. Know your children's talents and encourage them to use their talents for the Most High.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, and whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not unto men.
I hope that it will encourage you to do all you can to take your children's education into your own hands and endure the troubles in order to protect their spirit. Use your gifts for our children, for the Avengers that we're leaving behind. Let's do all that we can for them.
The time the Messiah is coming.